In the last session, that is MEC part 1, we discussed about basic architecture of MEC, then components of MEC and the interaction between the components and its features. So there are three components, that is model, controller and views. So model contains the data, then controls the all activities between the model and views. So in the view represents the data of the model to the user. In this session we are going to discuss about how ASP.NET MEC works. So the content in these sessions, the concept of the routing, app start folder and root config.cs file. So we will discuss about the root config.cs file, then global.asx files and root table, then examples of URL mapping and the naming conventions in the ASP.NET MEC framework. So let's start how the ASP.NET MEC works. So ASP.NET MEC framework is not a substitute for the ASP.NET web form. MEC framework resides inside the system.web.mec namespace. So it is a most important namespace while working with the MEC framework. So it contains the number of classes required for the developing the MEC application. So it is most important. So it works on the concept of routing. So what is routing? So routing means the mapping the URL request into the controller classes and actions defined in the controller class. So each and every request is mapped in the controller class and its actions. The routing validates variables used in the URL definition according to its pattern defined in it. These variables are passed as a parameters to the controller action, and the particular action is taken while receiving the parameters by the action. Routing is used to route incoming request to controller action, that is depends upon the request, the controller take the particular action and it passes the view to the user, and views shows the data of the model. In the Visual Studio Project templates, there are pre-configured URLs for ASP.NET MEC framework. These routes are defined in the root config.cs file, which is present in app_start folder within the ASP.NET MEC application. That is, root config.cs file is present in a app_start folder within your application, and the root config.cs file specifies the configuration of the root. So it pre-configured routes are available in the root config.cs file. The routing uses root table to handle the incoming request. So while the application is first time running, there is a method that is application start, which is invoked, and it handles the root table, and depend upon the incoming request, the routes are configured. So root table is created within the web application when the application is first start. Root table is set up in the global.asx file. So the global.asx file contains the following code. Let's observe that code. So this is the namespace MEC application 1, that is the name of the MEC application. So inside this namespace there is a class that is called public class. It is a public, so it inherits system.web.http application class. So inside this class there is a application start method which is predefined. So all these are predefined in the global.asx files. So inside this application start method, you can see the root config.register roots is the method, that is register root is a method of the root config class. So it creates the root table. So it defines the roots. Okay. So when application starts first time, this method is invoked, that is application start method is invoked, and it specifies the root table. So it allocates the root table and it specifies the different roots. When application firstly starts, the application start method is invoked. So root config.register root method is invoked. So it creates the default root table. The default root table consists of one root. So default root table breaks all incoming requested, that is URL, into 3 segments. So URL segment, anything between the slash, but that is forward slash, breaks into the 3 segments mapped to the controller name of the controller. Second segment is mapped into the name of the action, and the third segment is mapped as a parameter which is passed to the action, that is name of the parameter is id. So this id is passed as a parameter to the action. These roots are defined in the root config.cs file in the app_start folder. Okay. So this is the code. Okay. So inside this my application 1, that is a namespace of this my application. So it contains the class named as a root config class. So inside this root config class, there is a method defined in that root config class that is called register roots method. Okay. So this register root methods contains the code like roots.ignore root. It is a roots.ignore root. The roots is an object of this root collection class, and it invokes the method ignore root method. Okay. So it has a parameter. We'll discuss about this parameter later. So another method it invokes that is a map root. So roots is an object of root collection class. It invokes another method that is a map root method. So map root having 3 parameters. First is the name of the root, which is mentioned as a default. Then second parameter is called URL. So it specifies the structure of the URL, that is the first segment is a controller, second is a action, and third is a ID. Third parameter specifies the default values of this URL segments. So it creates the object, new object. Okay. So first parameter is a controller, which is having default value home. Second parameter is the action having default value as an index, and the third parameter is ID, which is optional. So its value is written as a URL parameter dot optional. So here ignore root method and map root methods are used as extension methods of the root collection class. So you'll see here in the previous slide. So roots is an object of root collection class, and these methods, that is ignore root method and map root methods, are the extension methods of this root collection class. Okay. So ignore root method work with the stop root handler class, and the map root method have root object property and its instance of the root. So root.ignore root method, that is a statement in the root config file, is used to prevent request of the web resources. So user cannot access the web resources because it prevents the request for the web resources from getting passes to controller. So here see the examples. Suppose user passed the URL, that is as a request, http://localhost/. Then here this URL is going to map as controller name as a home, name of the action as an index, and it does not have any ID. So ID is an empty string. Okay. Now take the next URL, that is second URL. If user requests the page by passing this URL as http://localhost/home, then this URL is going to map as the name of the controller is home, okay, action name as an index by default, and ID is empty. Take the next example URL. If user passes this URL, that is localhost/home/index, so home is a name of the controller, then here index is a name of the action, and there is no ID, so ID is a empty string. Take the fourth one URL. Here student is a controller, name of the controller, show all is the name of the action, and there is no ID, so name of the controller here is student, then name of the action is a show all, and the ID is empty. So take another example of URL. If user passes this URL, that is /student/show/1, then name of the controller is here student, name of action is show, and user passes the ID, that is the value of ID becomes 1 here. Okay, we are passing root.config.cs file as a name as a default. Okay, then URL pattern specifies the name of the controller, then action, and then ID. So this is the order of this URL specification, that is controller, then action, then ID. Okay, then next here the name of the controller by default it takes the home. If the user does not pass the name of the controller or parameter to the URL, so it takes the controller name by default as home, then action name by default as an index, and ID is by default empty. Okay, so this example shows the how URL maps in the controller, action, and ID. Okay, so this is the main thing you have to understood while learning the MVC. Okay, so next is a naming convention ASP.NET MVC. So there are certain rules, that is conventions, for naming the views, models, and controller. So there are mainly 3 naming conventions should be followed in ASP.NET MVC. Let's see for the model. The model name corresponds to the database table name. If single database table is used, then model corresponds to that table name. For example, here, if database table name is student, the name of the model class should be student. Second one example is if you are accessing multiple database tables, then the model name should end with the view model word. For example, if you use the database tables, two database tables, that is student and department, then name of the model class should be student department view model. Okay, the models represents the data, that is models hold the application data, it holds the application business logic and data itself. Then each class of the model should kept inside the models folder within your application. Next is a controller. So naming convention for the controller is that the controller name end with the controller word. You have to create separate classes for each controller, and these classes should be kept inside the controller folder in your web application. Okay, so controller class contains the flow control logic, or you can say application specific logic, and these controller classes having multiple action methods or non-action methods. So action methods returns the view, or it sends to redirect the user to another action. We will see this how the controller class implement and how the actions methods and non-action methods defined in the controller class in the next session. Let's see example of this controller class, how to specify the name of the controller. Suppose I want to create student controller, then you have to add a student class, okay, and the name of the class should be student controller. If I use department, then I want to access the department data and performing some actions on the department data, then I should create the department class having name department controller. Okay, these are some examples. So how to give the name to the controller class. Next is a view. So name of the each view corresponds to the action method of the controller class. The controller class contains the number of action methods and non-action methods. So name of the view should be matched with the action methods defined in the controller class. So we have to create the view for each action method, and the view name of the view is similar to the action method name. So all views must be present in the views folder in your web application. If you are using Razor View Engine, then extension of the view file should be .cs HTML. Suppose student controller class and having two action methods named as a index method and show all methods. Suppose you want to create the views for these two action methods, then you have to create two views, one for index method and another for the show all method action method. So name of the views are index view and show all view. Okay, so these views are stored in the index.cs HTML file, and second is a show all cs HTML file. So see how this folder structures is available in ASP.NET MVC. For the model, there is a models folder inside the ASP.NET MVC web application, and all the model classes are stored in this models folder. So here student.cs is a class which is stored in the models folder because student class represents the data for a web application. Next is a controller. So all controller classes must be stored in a controllers folder, and for this example the student controller class is present in the controllers folder. Next is a views. We can create multiple views. Suppose the student controller class contains the two methods, that is index method and show all methods. So we are creating different views for these two methods which is present in the student controller class, that is a index view and show all view. The index view is corresponds to the index method of the student controller class, and the show all view which is corresponds to the show all action method of the student controller class. So these two views are stored in the student folder because these views are corresponds to the student controller class, and the student folder which is present in the views folder. So in this session we discussed about concept of routing, root config.cs file, app start folder, global AX file and root table, the URL mapping examples, and naming conventions in MVC based application. So in next session we will discuss about folder structure and example to create the controller and views. Thank you very much for watching session. Please subscribe, like it and share it. Thank you.